Well, I tried. Guess your vocals won't be that warm. I don't know. Welcome to Strategy and Solidarity Pod, the podcast, an act of revolutionary defiance and the celebration of the things that bring us comfort, solace, and joy as we reclaim our humanity together. That I could not help that made me laugh a little bit, and it wasn't out of spite at all. I'm Carlos Kareem Wyndham.
And I'm Teresa Logan. How's your nervous system doing today, Carlos? What's something bringing you joy?
Two very different questions.
Part A, Part B.
Okay. Part A. How am I? What was the first? You said, how am I doing?
Your nervous system.
How's my nervous system? How's my nervous system?
Traditional opening question. How's your nervous system? As we try, and maybe it's a good time to tell people why we ask this question. How are you? Seems like a loaded question these days, because either you go to the default stock response of good, how are you? Which doesn't feel honest or fair a lot of the time and doesn't necessarily create genuine connection because it's just kind of like a script we're playing out. Or you tell the truth and then we're all depressed.
Yeah. No
or
good.
One person's doing great when everyone else is depressed, and that's awkward too. So we have started asking this question: how's your nervous system doing today? Because it gives us a different quality of information, especially when we're asking clients or other folks we run into. We'll go into a client meeting and say, "Oh, how are you doing?" And they'll be, "Oh, good. Well, how's your nervous system today?" "Oh, terrible. I'm completely fried." So that's one of the reasons we ask that question. So how is your nervous system doing today, Carlos?
I am still on reset, but I am very on edge, and I was prepared. I feel edgy. I'm not on edge. I was prepared to feel this way. I am not that surprised. I, of course, did my horoscopic pre-work, understanding what's going on this week, and so I was quite prepared to feel some kind of way about the world and the things in it and the things that might be coming my way in terms of types of interaction or recognition that may not be favorable.
What are you talking about? You said so many words. I don't know what any of them mean. You said... You say your nervous system is not on edge, but edgy. What's the difference between those two things for you?
Oh, earlier when I was discovering the third of the beautiful trifecta of events that had directly decided that arrows toward me would be the beginning of the day today. As that happened,
And that was someone passed out blocking your driveway, a scammer trying to get money from you from a fake accident, and
I couldn't have been at the accident. I was not even in state. I was not here.
Trying to
I was on
summarize,
tour.
You have to tell the whole story again.
I'm just saying, like, I wasn't here.
It's a scam, right? It's a scam. And it was an AI robot when you called.
Yeah.
What was the third thing?
A bad mouthing, a public bad mouthing from somebody.
Some social
on a.
Oh, that's right. I had blocked that one out of my mind.
Big, wide social media platform, and attacking very directly me and my friends.
Call you out by name, but you knew it was directed at you.
Oh, there's no question.
Okay.
There is absolutely no question.
Yeah, that all seems like enough. Any one of those things seem like it might be enough to push someone a little bit towards the edge. What
yeah, the guy in the
is
driveway, I wasn't sure if he was alive. Like it's been a strange morning. Oh yeah, and then
and
I'm
the
getting
kids make
calls
jokes
from
about the fence slump,
the
and they
fentanyl.
just will just fall
Yeah,
over. They're like, "Oh, it's a fence slump," and it's like a thing they make fun of now. But it's
yeah. I
very
don't know
real.
if it
They
was.
really do look like, are you dead or are you alive? When I've seen those people, I've definitely called emergency services a couple times, seeing someone on the side of the road slumped over like that. My kids are like, "Oh, it's just a fence slump. Don't worry." I'm like, "It looks like they might be dead."
Yeah, it doesn't look like heroin because they can't stand up and do it, and
It
they're just
doesn't.
all the way down.
It doesn't look
Like
like a normal
goddamn,
way a living human body would be folded.
like do this. Let me know and like amaze me. Look like a Michael Jackson. Choreography. Be amazing about it, and I will be stunned. And for years had been amazed at the resilience of the human body in the face of the things that people will resort to find comfort in times of wild distress and loss. I wouldn't have framed it that way in the past, but I understand that's what it is.
Mm.
And that from no, then the thing about
Okay, so
being
for people who
being
don't know, it's only 11:30 in the morning right now, so that's a lot to have
it's so
already
early.
dealt with in the first half of the day.
It
What is
was
keeping you this grounded? Because this grounded in response to, again, any one of those things, let alone all three of them, is not always how you would have responded to any one of those incidents. So what is keeping you grounded and centered through all of this chaos this morning?
well as the thread about the public tongue lashing was coming through, sent to me by my bestie, by Dahlia, to a group. It's a little group chat, just some of the girls. And they were asking what to do. What do we do? How do we do? What do we do? And in my life, there are so many times, and you know this about me, where what I would do would be to think of
5 different ways to destroy this person.
that we're on the border of legality, but certainly would get a laugh in a 1978 National Lampoon's film. Like somewhere in there, somewhere in that pocket, right?
My kids are horrified by the hazing and the like practical jokes that are actually quite dangerous and cause bodily harm in the old movies. They're like horrified that these were things we thought were funny. Not to mention all the like sexual harassment and
Yeah, no
abuse
sexual
that was just
harassment. That's not what we're after here. We're
normal.
talking more filling your car with popcorn. We're talking more.
How would
We're
you even
talking
do that?
more. Let's have
How would you fill a car with popcorn? That's
multi.
funny.
Oh. What?
You thought
Why?
this one through? How?
Uh,
How?
how? Oh, well,
Do you have a popcorn machine in your garage or something? Like, how do you fill a car full of popcorn? It seems expensive. And also, just like you'd have to fill your own car with bags of popcorn in order to go like dump a bag
oh
at a
no,
time into the
oh
other
no,
car.
oh no, oh
No?
no, oh no, no. It's amazing what you can get done with a credit card. Now listen, um, with a credit card and a key that can be obtained through friendship, you can get quite a lot of things done.
Only if that credit card doesn't get declined.
Only if it doesn't get declined, but if there's enough space, listen, I got 500 on something. Let's get it. Let's get it. Now we're not doing that. I'm not
Interesting.
doing that. I'm not doing that. The old
Revenge
me,
sounds expensive.
sometimes. The old me
They say that it acts on the brain about the same as substance addictions, that revenge becomes an addiction that causes as
had
much harm to the person with the addiction as substances can.
exactly that kind of vibes, right? And I would be the one to write a public letter. I would be the one to do a whole, okay, let's get it. You want to get it? Let's get it. You and me, academics, let's do it. You and me, Stephen A. Smith, let's get up in it. Let's go. Um, Here's the thing. Controversy on an interpersonal level is hack, and it is clout chasey, and it is not.
Doesn't contribute a lot towards strategy and solidarity most of the time, with some important exceptions.
Yeah, I mean, it ain't
Not the
like
building blocks of strategy and solidarity
nah,
usually.
and it's like, well, what I'm gonna use all this energy that I could spend, like if it gets to it again, right in our time, that people are looking for creative, artistic guerrilla tactics and historical examples and whatever. And Auntie got some stories that are useful or whatever, right? And I'm being tapped. Okay, that makes sense. That's my role at this point, right? I'm like, hey, here's a podcast. Like I'm on like it's not that we're not at that stage that I'm the one out there fucking up people, flipping the cop car. Like I did my times. I did it. I understand. I get the anger. I get the interaction. I understand. I'm not saying to don't. I do understand there's a limit to how productive that is, especially as they're beginning to send robots out after y'all. But hey, I'm not there. I ain't indiscreet. I'm not here to judge. Okay. Same team. That said, if I get tapped, right, I want to be able to be available and actually offer something in terms of like what I offer. And if it is useful, I'd love to be able to do that. But like that is not what is done when you start aiming at that same energy at your at people who saw you at some point as either a guide or a mentor. That's really, 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 really imbalanced and mean
Well,
and
it's that
hazy.
they probably were not thinking of you as a guide or mentor. People have a tendency to look up to people as like putting people up on pedestals. Most of the time, just so that they can then knock you down off the pedestal they put you
Yeah.
on. Is what happens a lot of time because we don't have healthy relationships with like leadership and mentorship and that sort of thing. And there has been so much abuse and toxicity in those kinds of relationships that we definitely culturally in this moment have a tendency to like look for the perfect leader or the perfect example, the perfect model, put them up on a pedestal,
Oh,
and
girl, don't
then
look here.
as
Don't
soon as
look
they
here.
as soon as they act like a human who's messy or has made mistakes in their life or caused harm in life, because we all have,
Hello.
then we got to knock them off the pedestal as some evil villain who must be, destroyed.
Yeah, it's wild. It's
Does
wild.
not
And
help
it,
build movements or solidarity or community, but is one of the biggest dynamics dynamic hurdles that we have to overcome to build more resilient movements that can move through conflict and not have an interpersonal spat or trauma, usually
yeah.
fueled by trauma, tear apart growing communities and things that are meaningful because of interpersonal hostilities or tensions or misunderstandings or whatever that it stems from.
Yeah. I mean, certainly like in terms of this particular relationship, right? It's also very important, and it's important on the left, and it's important for folks who are public facing as well in whatever capacities, right? To know that it does not behoove the movement at all to go about embarrassing people who tried, couldn't, and then got a little bit reckless in their speech. And like, okay, you know what? People do that. You know what I mean? And especially people who are not, you know, as somebody who's been doing comedy for near a decade publicly, like I will say that not all balanced people, some people are working some things out, as you said earlier, publicly.
Some.
And if
go to any local comedy mic that I've seen in different cities and countries at this point, and it's like, oh, it's just, you know, let me put my trauma on this. I'm going to process my trauma by making jokes about it in front of strangers. Seems to be
there
what
is a lot
majority
of that.
of them are doing.
There is a lot of that, like trying to actively steer things toward celebrating ourselves and not downplaying our value is
so much self-deprecation. It's hard to sit through sometimes.
Right. And then people are like, well, how are you doing what you're doing? And I'm like, well, first, how about stop hating yourself a little bit?
Oh, wait, what? Say that again.
Let's just,
what?
Let's just get a little self-love in there. Little, can you, who are you doing it for? What are we doing? You know, and if you get to the place of like knowing you're doing it for you and you're doing it because you love you, and hey, I want to show you this cool shit about some shit I've been thinking about that is cool or interesting or will help us move forward. But a lot of them are trying to think about how to get free therapy or get laid. And it's not hot sometimes. But, you know, like, so anyway, telling everybody just, you know, what we're going to do, nothing. Because what, why? Why? What, like, why?
Well, it brings me back to all the stuff we were talking about in conflict resolution for anti-fascists, which you can still register for, by the way, if you're interested. Strategy and solidarity.
I can?
Yeah, sure can.
That's
it's all recorded
fantastic.
now, but it's still there on demand.
That's fantastic. Wait a minute, wasn't I there?
You were, but one of the key things that we talked about was that spectrum of like, you need different strategies for different people depending on what their role in the movement or the opposition is. And humiliation is one that we have all kind of been taught to go to, especially if we were raised on all those hijinks, hazing movies of the 70s, 80s, and 90s, where like,
God, I'm so good at it.
Humiliation and practical jokes and putting people's lives in danger for gags was like go to court or humiliate someone were like the main strategies for dealing with conflict in popular culture. They're not good ones for dealing with conflict in real life, but they are the scripts most of us have inherited. And so we talked about in there, humiliation is really only useful if you're going after the opposition leader. Not useful if you're going after the people with guns because they might shoot you. Not useful for going after your own leaders and your own movement because then you're destroying your movement. Not useful for going after young new recruits or people making mistakes and missteps in your own movement because then you are not building a movement. You're driving people away, right? And so we looked at what are the effective strategies. And, you know, for me in other situations that have nothing to do with comedy and weren't really funny at the time. when people have been upset with me or come after me or whatever, like it's hard because it does like in your body feel like you're under attack, like someone's threatening your life, right? And so the first thing for me is that just somatic awareness of like, oh, I'm reacting as if I'm under threat, but if I really look at the situation, like this is a person, when I worked in the office with other people, had some younger person who was very upset with me about whatever. I was like, okay, I'm really not at risk here. No, I'm not going to lose my job because of this person's complaint. It wasn't that serious and it definitely wasn't founded. I'm not really at risk here. What can I do to support this person and trying to work through this without making it my job to fix them or save them or something like that? So
Right.
it's holding boundaries, right? But it first starts with like understanding what's happening for me inside. Like, why does it feel like I'm under attack and my life is being threatened because this person doesn't like me right now? Because it doesn't really matter to my life whether this person likes me or not. It feels like it does, right? So doing that work to clear my own issues so that I'm not feeling so triggered and activated, and then regrounding myself in reality that like, no, I'm really not at risk. And in a situation with a younger staff, younger in age, but also junior in time on staff,
Mm.
and also a person of color in that situation, and me being a white woman who'd been around longer, being like, I'm the one with the privilege in this situation. I really need to make sure that I am not overstepping and weaponizing what I have against a person with less privilege and power than me, even though they were acting kind of wild. Some of
Right.
the strategies they were using and how to carefully navigate through that without getting caught up in like right, wrong, good, bad, I'm the victim, you're the villain, or I'm the villain, you're the victim, or whatever it is, because there's so much cultural pressure to push us into those scripts and roles in conflict that are counterproductive and not helpful to most of the things we're trying to accomplish.
Yeah. No, and I mean, it really is. I'm glad that I am, uh, as I'm making fun of my own age and making fun of my own past, in terms of allowing for the most patriarchal and reactionary um, uh, reactions and interactions to drive uh, those relationships. It's not, certainly at my age, a thing I learned from not doing it. How it doesn't feel great. Doesn't feel great. I
What doesn't feel
maybe
great?
just maybe thinking about some of the humiliations that I may have executed on people throughout my life. Some
Did it
that
feel good at
like,
the time?
oh God, as people applauded me doing it and like just
Oh,
get them, and then you get them, right? You get them,
it was very
okay.
satisfying in the moment.
Woo, heroin, and
Oh,
then
mm-hmm.
it's just you and the ghost of what you did on replay forever.
Mm.
And that sucks.
So like the ghost of Christmas past, they just making you relive it and be like,
It
is this
it
really what you
depends on
wanted to
how
do?
far you
Is this
went.
really who
It
you meant
depends.
to be?
Yeah, yeah. And it depends on how far you went and like the lesson that you're willing to take from it,
So after the
right?
high, there's a come down and a crash
That
of
then
regret
requires you either turn into a mean kid,
and
my
just constantly defend
transition.
yourself.
Sure, yeah. Then my transition went from defend yourself to defender, and like throwing on the cowl and like, okay, I'll fight anybody for the cause and as an external measure. Then it became an internal measure, and all of it was
I'm sure
because
that
I
worked out
felt,
well. That never got
yeah,
messy or anything. You didn't get in the middle and realize things were much more complex and messier than you had first understood.
so bad, so bad. And then finally was like, hey, how about what if this? What what if instead of trying to do all of these things that the world had said this is what you should do because of the body in which you inhabit and the tone of your voice. So here's what you do, and realizing that, how about fuck that, and maybe just live, right, for one, and for two, to understand that finding any way for any person, find a way to make your way outside of the establishment systems of offices and all of the things that it is nearly impossible to maintain, especially in a collapsing economy, and thus far have been maintaining that. And so very, very, very blessed. And I do not take any of that for granted. And your camera just came into wild focus all of a sudden as I was looking at you. And so now I got distracted by whatever the hell I was talking about, because I was like, whoa, there's Teresa.
Like, I didn't go anywhere. I've just been
I know. All of a sudden you came up in HD all of a sudden, like, whoa, shit. Like the camera finally adjusted to, yeah, anyway.
Well, that's very important information for our listeners.
That was very brilliant. That was good.
So what is the strategy for dealing with a person of junior seniority or less power, privilege, or rank in a particular community or setting, who most likely, I have no awareness of the real specifics of the situation, but hypothetically, I'm going to assume probably moving from lots of trauma and kind of attacking within the community. If humiliation and revenge and destroying them are not the moves that actually help us build resilient, regenerative, restorative community, what is the strategy? I think I heard you say for now it's like non-reactivity, like just, I guess, they processing through whatever they're processing. They're not really putting us at risk in any meaningful way. Is this something we even need to respond to?
Yeah, no, they're a mess. They're definitely not. Like the people that we work with, hang on, won't give a fuck. But and the continued both public and on stage attacking of my beloved community as we are under attack by the state. You know,
is it an attack or is it an irritation?
I guess no, it was an attack.
Question.
It was
like, what is the harm, the real harm being caused by this attack?
The intention or the outcome?
The intention, the actual outcome. The real impact, not the potential or the desired impact, but the real impact. Are bookings going to get canceled? Are people going to stop coming to the show? Is there real harm being caused, or is it just like an annoyance and an irritation of someone who's moving from a lot of pain, trying to cause pain or be a pain, but isn't actually causing real material harm? Maybe just emotional discomfort.
There's something about setting and holding the boundary that we promise to our audiences in terms of, again, without, specifically like running around and like naming people and going after people, reminding folks that anti-trans and anti-Black campaigning is just not what we're about. It's not what we do, and so,
But I'm guessing this wasn't a white person doing this, or that would be a much easier.
Oh no, and it's not. It's very easy for me. It's very easy for me. I don't listen. First of all, people, again, are so wrapped up in their own thing that like even the very long conversations that I've held with folks about like, look, I am a Black Two-Spirit person. I come from these cultures. What they hear, see is, oh, you're Black. And it's like, okay, well, cool and good. So you don't need to know more about me then. Because if you're not seeing, right, what my community sees, that puts me in a position where I don't have to concern myself as deeply with how you're going to come and try and whatever, if you do, as it was done, by knowing that, like, okay, well, that's clear anti-Blackness, and I know you're wrong. And not just because of who I am and my lived experience or whatever, and the experience of the community and the fact that we, it's like, no. Something is going on with you that has very little to do with this. But publicly, what you've done now and in the past has put me in a place of having to, should you or anybody, should one choose to make those kinds of decisions and then overstep and try to like show back up and like like, oh, okay, now we have to have a talk. Because no, absolutely not. Absolutely not. Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
So it calls for firm boundaries.
Yeah, just a very clear boundary, but the boundary is like, it's not, I'm not trying to, it's not a comedy boundary.
Not
like,
retaliation.
Go do whatever you do. No. Go do your thing.
Just boundaries.
Just boundaries. Now, don't. Because inside, you know what it is and you know what the culture is. And we don't want to do that. That's not what we're doing. I'm trying to prevent that. That's the whole thing, right? Like, we don't want to roast. You don't want to do that with this. You don't want to do that with this. I don't want to do that with this. It's not fair. It's not right. It's not cool. Like, what? How does that make sense? How does that make sense? And then you get the reputation as like the assholes and the bullies of comedy. Like, no, thank you.
Because only in comedy. You've never been considered the asshole or the bully in any other you haven't, those labels haven't followed you around your whole life or anything, have they? Once or twice.
Ooh. At least it ain't liar and fake shit. God damn. No, yeah, asshole and bully definitely have shown up once or twice. And once, as I've said in the past, once or twice I have been each of those. And
evolution, growth, making new choices, trying to create something different.
I am so not trying to feed that dragon anymore. I can even humiliate. That is the one place where I would be willing to like, right, explore not self-degradation and humiliation, right, but the exploration publicly on stage, right, interactively around past, oh god, it feels so gross, past transgressions that I know I'm like, ooh, girl, ooh, that was mean. Like, that was fucked up. Oh, you shouldn't have did that. You know what I mean? Ooh, that was a federal crime. Like, maybe not that.
Not that one.
Huh? Who said that? Turn off all of this AI shit that's doing my voice. I don't like that.
That was a joke.
That was AI.
Anything. That was just a joke.
That was Elon Musk. Anyway.
You just cut out. You're on mute. How you unmute yourself in the middle of your own podcast?
I don't know. It's how it's you know why? Because I'm so good at it.
It must be time to take a break.
This is the best podcast ever. Let's take a break. This is Carlos from Strategy and Solidarity. That was a lot of talk about comedy for a podcast about strategy and solidarity. And if you would like to see what we are talking about, what I am talking about when we're talking about comedy, you can join us at an event that we have that is called the Fucks of Life. And that happens at Covert Cafe here in Portland, Oregon. That features myself, Mixtalia Bell, Amanda Lynn Deal, Angelique Harrington. Of course, there's food by the Joes and Colin. And it's been great. It's been standing room, wonderful open mic. And we would love to see you there. If you want to see some up and coming comics who are really doing their, I mean, it's people with chops. Come through, come see what we're talking about. Fucks Life. Second, Saturdays of every month. 1, 2. This is Carlos from Strategy and Solidarity. What is Monday Moment? Monday Moment is just a second to get ourselves grounded and centered and ready for the week. And every Monday at around 9 and 9:30, please join me for anywhere from 3 to 10 minutes of breathing, reflection, and preparing ourselves together. Join me for Monday Moments. Welcome back to Strategy and Solidarity the podcast. Teresa, how's your nervous system?
My nervous system's doing okay.
My ADHD may have taken us on a little ride there. Sorry.
Just a little way. My ADHD went right along with you. I had a lovely couple days at the coast with my kids for part of their spring break. Hosted sleepovers on either side of that.
Okay. Were there marshmallows roasted?
There absolutely were.
Oh, God damn, I want some.
Also, my oldest child was sick and she stayed home with her father and didn't go to the coast with us. So I just had my two younger kids who are 11 and 14. So still like teenager-ish. And my 14-year-old, we went to this beach where you could drive your car down onto the beach and do a little campfire on the beach in your car. Like the fire's not in the car, but like you can park your car on the beach and do the campfire.
On top of your car. You light the car on fire. I get it.
No. Somewhere, in the vicinity of the car. We were trying to use the car as a wind block because it was a little windy for a fire on the beach. It sort of worked, but it also made our whole car smell like campfire. And my 14-year-old was listening to music in the car because they were cold. And you already know where the story's going because I'm sure you as a teenager did this yourself, drained the whole car battery.
Oopsie doodle.
So then we were stuck on the beach with no cell service in a hybrid car that would not start. And it was fine. I walked down the beach till I got cell service. And then I called the emergency and they sent a dude with a little machine that you hook up to the battery to jump start it. And there we go. It's not even a jump start anymore. It's just like you plug it in for a minute. Only took like 2 minutes or something. It's not like the old days where you gotta get the car and the other car and the cables and hope nobody disconnected them wrong. And
yeah, no, they come out with a little red box.
I used to know how to do things on cars. I'm old enough that my first car was this 83 Dodge Colt hatchback, like an old school 2-door hatchback that me and one other person could definitely push start that car because it was a stick shift, right? And it was a little tiny hatchback. The windshield wipers didn't work. It had turbo mode and economy mode, but was stuck in turbo mode. I'm not sure what either one of the modes did. The speedometer was broken. I just had to gauge how fast I was going based on how fast the cars around me were going.
That's it. Watch traffic.
I had to
This
push
is how
start that
fast we
car
go.
3 times in one day once. I knew how to change out the battery because my alternator was bad, but I didn't have any money to fix it in high school. So I just kept taking the battery back to Fred Meyer's and saying, I don't know, I just bought it. It died. They let me swap out the battery like 3 times until I got enough money from babysitting and cleaning houses to pay for a new alternator. But it brought back all these memories because I opened the car of my Toyota hybrid and I'm like, I know nothing. I can't do anything for this car. I could push a button in the ceiling that's supposed to call a satellite roadside assistance to come help me, but didn't work when the battery was dead.
Yeah.
So I had to walk down the beach and call my mother to look up the phone number for Toyota roadside assistance for me because I didn't have internet service, only had cell service, but she did. And I called them and they were not great, but they sent the guy who was super helpful. And I was like, I should probably get one of these little machines when I have money again that you just connect to the thing and it restarts your car. Anyway.
Why were the service people not that great? What was their deal?
Well, I told her I was trying to. The call kept cutting out because I barely had service. I had like 1 bar LTE, no 5G. And she's like, "Well, I can hardly hear you." I was like, "Okay," but then I had to call her back again, and she's like, "Okay, I put in your service." I was like, "Did you understand we're actually down on the beach?" She's like, "Well, they might decline your call if they can't get down that road." I was like, "But it's like it's a road that goes onto the beach. It's a whole like state park. It's a thing. All the cars in this area come down here and do this. It's not like I went off-roading." She's like, "Well, I don't know. They might decline it. You should probably look for a backup. You might just have, if they decline it, then you have to call a commercial carrier and arrange for your own service, and then we'll reimburse you." And I was like, how am I going to look for another? I'm on a beach with no service. You can't hear me. I don't have internet. How am I going to find another? You're supposed to be my emergency people, and you can't call them to just make sure they're sending one of the people in like a car or a truck or something that's not a whole tow truck. No, I'm just an operator. I don't have that kind of power. I'm like, what are you talking about? What is the point of this service? Maybe it's time to go back to AAA and forget about Toyota.
Or what is the point of that conversation? Moreover,
I don't know. I was like, why are you just giving me anxiety instead of being helpful? I'm telling you, right? I'm stranded out here with my kids, and you telling me we may or may not be able to help you. Good luck. But fortunately, they do send local people. And the dude texted me. He's like, "Yes, I know exactly where you are. No problem. I'll see you soon." And he was very helpful.
So how did you not blow your
Toyota
top?
Operator. I mean, for what? She's doing her job. She worked for a giant corporation who gives her a script to read. She's not lying to me about not having any power. She's on some other, like the other side of the world or the other side of the country. I don't even know if she's in this country, you know?
Yeah.
What am I going to do? Yell at her? Yell at my kids? For what? I would have in the past, like, "Oh no, how did you do this?" And I told, I should have told you, or, but it's the coming back to your thing. All of that is just projection. Used to be all of the projection of my own dissatisfaction with myself, or my own, I don't know if I'd say self-hate if I'd go that far, but dissatisfaction and displeasure with myself, all the things I didn't like about myself, then I project out onto my kids when I'd yell at my kids about things. And now it's just like, oh, they're just kids being kids. And the more that I, love and appreciate and have healed all of my inner wounds and inner children and whatnot, the more I see other people's insecurities, and I can just see when people are moving from their own insecurities. Like I used to feel like I must be the only one who was insecure and had all these issues, and everyone else seemed so confident and put together. Now the more healed I am, I look around and be like, oh, interesting. And I could just see it's just people being people. And most of the time, most of what people say or do about you is just, 90% projection of their own issues onto other people. And so I don't really take that personally anymore. Because it's just, they're just working through whatever they're working through. Like I was working through whatever I was working through when I used to be the highly reactive person. And I filmed a little thing about it, put up on Instagram, to just be like, what a big difference it is to have had that situation.
Oh, recently you did?
Like last night. Because absolutely, we have been broken down at the coast before. Again, that 83 Dodge Colt was not the only janky car I ever owned. Right? Definitely, my mom also had cars we had to push start. I remember trying to hide because it was like in the middle of the street and all my friends were over there. And she was like, "Get out and help me push," and I'm just dying. Right? So I've been broken down in all kinds of situations. Definitely have been broken down at the coast before. We'd have people drive out to rescue us because the car was not gonna didn't just need a jump start. It needed towed somewhere. And those times were much higher stress situations because everybody was yelling at each other, like trying to figure out who did what wrong and whose fault it is. It's like it's not anybody's fault. It just
Right.
is what happened. I mean, there was a
Whose
series of
fault is it we're poor? That's there's no one's fault. The rich people took all the money. It's gone.
and so to get to that place where again I'm grounded and able to just navigate challenge and be like, this is a very minor inconvenience, very
Yeah.
minor, very manageable. Had all the access to all the resources I need to get through it with minimal effort and discomfort. I found more firewood on the beach walking back to the car, and I took my younger child back with me, and we collected it, and then we took it back,
Hey
and then
now,
we
say now.
had a longer fire. We had more wood for the fire.
Hey now,
It
say
was
now.
good. And I said, so that's a lifetime story, right? Now we get to remember
Yeah.
that story for life. Be like, remember that time we broke down on the beach and the tide was coming in, and we can embellish it next time. But so that was good. Just as it's one of those like milestone markers of my own growth to be like, this is such a different experience than it would have been 5, 10 years ago,
Right.
especially 8, 10 years ago. Um, that said, I could feel like the black cloud of depression and overwhelm descending back onto my soul as I drove back into the city. And I don't dislike my city, and I love my house, and I love my yard that's all in bloom in springtime, and I love my kids. I love my life. I try to remind myself of that every day. And then it's just all the overwhelm of like the kids, hate their schools, and it's 2 hours of my morning to get everybody to school, and bills, and need more contracts, just all this stuff. Um, and I was posting about it on the internet too. I was like, I understand my ADHD and whatever portion of my neurodivergence that covers is like I just have a nomad's brain. Like I'm so happy when I'm out on the road. We're sitting there in that little 13 by 8 foot trailer, even when it's all four of us. And it's very manageable. Everything is within arm's reach. Nothing is out of sight or out of mind. We have everything we need in this little space, at least for that number of days.
Yeah.
We're not really out there like boondocking out in the middle of nowhere. So like we can drive to the store if we need something else, like, but it's so good. It's just nice to be out breathing fresh air, looking at trees, looking at the ocean, and just being in the wonder and awe of the world. And I don't know, just enjoying little adventures with my kids. Even they whine sometimes, but they're pretty good this time. There wasn't too much bickering. And then coming back and just like, now I'm just back to being stuck here every day doing the same thing. It's like I don't need Adderall when I'm on the road because it's just like that flow of like, what's the next thing that needs done? It's not the overwhelm of like, let me go plan out my calendar for the next year and commit myself to these activities. It's like, what are we doing today? What are we going to eat right now? What's the next thing we're going to do? Where are we going tomorrow? And it's just like it's easy to just be in the flow of life when things are more simple and clearly defined and in more condensed space. Now I'd probably lose my mind if that was our full-time life and we didn't have a home to come home to, but it is just like there is no executive dysfunction when I'm on the road. And as soon as I walk back in my house, it's like I don't remember how to do anything. The laundry's half done, the dishes are sitting in the sink. It's like it just all feels like too much again all of a sudden.
Yeah. 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 No, I was impressed with myself when I came in and my house was somewhat together, or at least gave the appearance of it. And as I've sort of like crept back into it, or it's crept back into me, I'm like, oh God. Ah, boy.
Yeah.
Fuck.
So I said my nervous system's good. It was recharged by being out at the coast for a few days, and
Yeah.
it's settling back into the grind of daily life and trying to find ways to remind myself that it doesn't always have to be a grind and overwhelming despair every day. So doing my little walk around my yard every morning to say good morning to the to the plants and flowers and trees and little animals out there. It gives me a micro dose of what I get out on the road, of just being like, oh wow, this apple tree is blooming today. It wasn't blooming before I left, to just see the new thing and get that little bit of dopamine of like, smell this flower, the cherry blossoms on the cherry tree in my backyard, which I didn't know what it was because it had no leaves on it when we moved in. I think now I'm pretty sure it is actually a sweet cherry tree with cherries we'll be able to eat. And it's massive. And the flowers smell amazing.
Oh,
They smell amazing. Huh?
It's gonna be a mess.
The squirrels and the birds will probably eat them all, but it's fine. It smells amazing right now.
That's beautiful. That's
it's
great.
So beautiful. It looks beautiful. It smells beautiful. So if I can just find those little moments, and that helps give me that little bit of dopamine to help me like get moving with the rest of my day instead of collapsing into the overwhelm of the too many things that need done with not enough time or resources. That's how I'm doing. But I did see another thing driving back into town, which was I believe this was the third No Kings marches were happening, protests were happening over the weekend. Did you participate?
All right. Well, three runs, 3 marches, I guess, huh? Oh boy, 3 and 3 makes 6. I don't know what that means at all. I'm just saying words. No, I did not. I did not. As I was saying, I am not in the streets like that any longer. I guess I'm in the liminal space betwixt the youngs in their anarchist garb and the very, very olds on the corners with their cardboard signs bequesting honks from cars. I do not call them honkies. That would be wrong. And I am not wrong. But I did see in the news that in Tennessee, the police seem to have a very reactionary and perhaps aggressively violent response to the volunteer safety officers who were just, community people in orange vests, again, in Tennessee. Not talking about, we're just talking about people, just whoever the hell. And they just, all right, can the traffic hold on while the people walk over here, please, real quick? And the people were walking. And the police decided that they were not going to walking. And so they beat up people. Mm-hmm. So that's not fun. And then I saw that evidently the Fourth and First amendments that here at ICE they decided that nope and go away, and then made the protesters just leave. Which what? But remember the Constitution? They don't. So that's. I don't like.
Do you want to provide any more context about about the First and Fourth Amendment specifically in terms of what you just said? They don't have the right to gather,
to report what's happening and be press, and then now they're trying to say you're not press and you're not press, and it's like, what are you talking about? Because this is how people are getting their informations, and they are press, and many of them actually report. And then the other part that they're doing is because you're supposed to be able to gather and protest, and that's what the Fourth is all about. That's the point. Let's do it. Let's protest. Let's get together and let them know that fuck you. No, we're not going to have kings. This is the United States, and fuck you, which is what the Tea Party started as before they transmorgified into red hats and these weird Trumpista Jabba the Hutt creatures trying to do whatever they're doing. I don't know who spilled water on them or fed them after midnight. but they fucked it up. They fucked it up. They didn't read the directions. And now here we are watching liberals fighting for the fourth fucking amendment, and the whole world's upside down, and I don't understand anything anymore.
I mean, I'm not sure if the whole world is upside down or this is what it has been the whole time we have been here. But I will say it's not, the Constitution's not any different than these policies and things we talk about at organizations. It only matters if you can enforce it, right?
Yeah, it's really just about power. It's really just about power.
So First Amendment, Fourth Amendment, we've agreed that these are things that are supposed to be held sacred, but they never have been for everyone all the time. It's always been very particular of who those rights were extended to and who had the power to take them away from other people.
We got to have the NRA because black people had guns. Ronald Reagan freaked out. That's how that happened. So yay.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Right? So it's like we do just demanding that those things be honored is reasonable, and it's not a reason not to do that, but it also requires like legal strategy. I think they are losing when these cases go to court by and large. There's some concerning exceptions, such as I think it's like the Prairie Land 8, who were all called Antifa, even though they were not part of any organization, and called domestic terrorists. That case is very concerning. Now, I'm sure there's 2 or 3 levels of appeal ahead of them. And it sounds like the judge in that case was definitely like a MAGA asshole who was very prejudiced on the stand. So I suspect as it goes up through appeals, there will be different outcomes. From what we've seen from the courts by and large, the Trump administration is losing on most fronts. But, legal strategy is one strategy, protest is another strategy. There's lots of strategies we have to use. None of these things are guaranteed.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they're not, the First and Fourth Amendment are not gone. They're still there. There's still tools we can use to access to fight they're only useful in the court of law. They're not useful anywhere else, but in a court of law, we can absolutely still turn to those and hold them accountable to breaking the law. It just requires a lot of time and energy to do that.
Sounds like kids trying to play Monopoly. That's not the rules. Like, okay, well, I did it. So, the thing about it that's been disconcerting to me is the full out fascism that is happening. Like, one, I'm glad that TSA got their contract resolved and they're back and whatever. At the same time, I was very disappointed not to see any of these gusano and fucking chocolate covered white chocolate ICE officers so that I could cuss them the fuck out at the airport.
Oh, you didn't see them at the airport?
They weren't there, but they were already out. So let me just say to any of you who showed up at San Francisco airport, at PDX, honestly, any airport, but those are the only 2 I was at. Very, 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 very disappointed to learn that you are that level of sub that your daddy can just clear you out that quickly. I thought you were toughies. I was looking forward to seeing your leather daddy, bad boy, proud boy march, and God bless you and your muscles and your commitment to fascism.
What?
I'm making fun of them for going to the gym and being not in good shape and not really being police officers who are pretending that they were TSA, but they're even worse than that.
The ICE agents who are at the airports are leather daddies? Yeah. Is that what you're saying?
Because of their little vests that say ICE. Oh. All you have to do is take off that shirt and like you got a whole, like put on YMCA. That's Trump's theme song. I mean, it's not me.
I may have missed something while I was at the coast without cell service or internet. But did they do anything at the airports? The last thing I saw, they were just standing around not doing much.
Oh, no, they fucked up a couple people.
Oh,
they fucked up a couple people. Yeah, they fucked up a couple people at the airport. Snatched up a mother and the child, the whole thing. I'm very upset. I'm very upset with them. I was very much looking forward to talking shit.
Were you?
I had my passport. I had a legua with me. I was ready.
You were like hoping to have a confrontation with them, or you
I
wanted
was
them to
I
arrest
was
you and send you to the
looking.
detention center as well? Because your
I
name is
was
Carlos and Kareem. Both of those.
I was looking
Were
to
you?
have a confrontation with them.
Interesting. Why? What was your like
And
dream scenario you wanted to play out?
oh, I was just gonna start filming and be telling little jokey jokes to myself and then walk past them
Oh, okay.
and film them and ask them some questions or something maybe, but I didn't get the opportunity. I did miss that, so I am sad for that.
So it's more like
Thank you, Trump,
content
I guess.
creation than confrontation.
A little both and a
Little of
little
both.
like, hey,
Mhm.
demonstratively, hey, fuck you guys. Okay. Let me be clear that this is not performative. This is what I work for, work on. Fuck you, top to bottom, and everything you stand for.
Mhm.
Also, I hope I get 1,000,000 hits on this because fuck you. But
I mean, I will say those are the kind of things that do get you sometimes called a bully and an asshole, but they're also the things that make people just like love and adore you because you're willing to like go and say the thing that people wish in their heads that they would say, but they never would. And you actually do
do you
because I don't
remember
think
that
you can help
conservative
yourself.
motherfucker with the cowboy hat? The conservative black motherfucker with the cowboy hat?
Mm-hmm.
Trump's boy from
Mm-hmm.
like back
No,
two Trumps ago.
no.
He was super famous for a minute. He was always on Fox, whatever.
I don't
I
remember
don't
the
know.
names
He's
of people I like. I definitely don't remember the names
okay. So
or people that I
he's not their
dislike.
good black anymore. He hasn't been around in a long time. I
Oh.
don't know. He used to walk around in
There
like
was a
a
football
cowboy hat.
player who was like a
No,
congressman and illiterate or brain damaged or something.
no. Way before that. Way before that. This one was very literate. Just
After
fascist.
Condoleezza Rice and Colin Powell, but before
Right in the pocket. Right in the pocket.
Omarosa was friends with Omarosa.
No, he was not a TV dude. He was a real person.
I have no idea
Anyway,
who
he
this
was on the
person is.
plane at the same time as me.
Okay.
And he had on all his badges and shit.
In
And I
real
happen
life,
to have one.
right now
Yeah.
in San Francisco?
No, this was like when he was famous still.
Oh, okay.
And I happen to have on my jacket with all the pins on it, all the Free South Africa and fuck a cop and all this.
Mm-hmm.
Saw some white lady thank him for like, thank you for everything you do for the country. And I was just like, oh my
Gross.
God, barf. So I just walked past him. I saw him and I looked him up and down and he looked at me and I was like, nice pins. Just kept what I'm like, I don't know.
He said
All to
nice
say.
pins.
No, I said it to him. Except I
Was
didn't
he
say
wearing pins?
yeah, he had all this like soldier shit all over him.
Oh.
But what I call it
He's a soldier
is
in a
that shit.
cowboy hat?
Yeah, well, he wears the shit. I don't know what his name is. I can't remember his name. I don't know. Captain Sellout Man. I don't know. Captain Crunch.
Captain
I don't know what
Sellout
the
Man.
fuck
That's
his
like the
name is.
villain in your comic book.
A terrible man. Just a terrible, very macho, very tall, very mean to everybody. He always had a
Oh.
cowboy hat on. Maybe he had a handlebar mustache or something. General something majors. I don't know what the fuck his name is. He looks like uh uh uh, uh oh, you know
David
what he looks
Clark?
like?
Is it David
He
Clark?
looks like
Was he
a
sheriff?
movie. Yes, he looks like a movie of Montel Williams. He looks like if you were going to cast
If Montel
a
Williams played a
shitty
cowboy?
Montel Williams in something and like write it so that he was a monster and somebody who wanted to destroy everybody and not somebody who was actually trying to fix a broken ass talk show system that he would be that guy instead.
Okay.
Yeah.
David Clark
David,
was a
what's his
sheriff.
name?
Clark
What's his name?
with an E on the end.
Last name is what?
Clark with an E on the end,
Clark.
like Superman, but not.
All right. Yeah. So I said,
He was a
I didn't
sheriff
say
of Milwaukee County, Wisconsin from 2002 to
nice. What the fuck did I
2017.
call it? Oh, I know what I said to him. I know why he got upset. I said nice flair. I didn't say nice pins.
Mm.
I looked at him and I touched mine and I went, nice flair.
Captain Sellout Man. I
He
don't want
unemployed
any
again.
AI involved, but I would like to see that comic book
He
in real
unemployed
life.
again, or maybe he dead now. I don't know.
Whatever
I don't care.
your superhero alter ego is, or just Captain Sellout Man.
Captain Sellout. I was just like, this nigga can't really seriously be in real life. This is not a robot. You for real? You're not like a Max Headroom, like back, nigga. Like I was just like, God damn, you for real? All right, little old wrinkled up white ladies loving up on you in the airport. Shoot, nice flare, baby. Shoot. He didn't like that. Anyway,
No.
I saw him once.
Okay.
That was my brush with fame. If David Letterman was still on, I'd tell him that was my brush with fame.
I feel like you've come much
I wouldn't even
closer
talk about
to
anything
people
else.
whose names I know, because I know who that dude was.
I mean, but I would say it, when it happened.
Is he famous? He's not famous.
He was. How long did it take you to find him?
I mean, I did type in Captain Black Man Cowboy Hat Drum Supporter, and his was the first thing that came up.
This has been another episode of Strategy and Solidarity the podcast. We would love to thank Amani Will for the use of his dope-ass song. Thank you to the supporters of Strategy and Solidarity for helping to make this possible. You can find us in your app store of choice, strategyandSolidarity.org, so you can become a supporter of this fantastic and brilliant podcast.
You can also join us and come talk to us. We have this month, April 17th, Ask Us Anything live with Carlos and Teresa. You can come be in the room and talk to us through the screen and ask us any question about anything you want to ask us.
Oh, boy.
And then I do conflict coaching, drop-in conflict coaching hours on Friday, April 24th at 10 a.m., where if you are dealing with your own conflict of someone acting kind of wild in your community or whatever else.
And you will.
Workplace issues we're pretty good with. You can come drop in, ask questions, and we'll talk about conflict and give you some suggestions for how to deal with difficult people towards building solidarity, strategy, and the world we're trying to create, not the one that is crashing and burning around us. And we're doing an equity professionals meetup. We're doing a virtual one tomorrow, which unless you're already in the app, you won't hear about in time to come to. But we have another one at the end of April, on April 30th. That's going to be a local Portland meetup. And then we'll have another virtual one in May. So join us at strategyandSolidarity.org to come participate in any of those live events.
All right, get up in there. I don't know.
All right, take good care of yourselves out there.
Oh, there went. Okay, bye.
Bye.